There is finally good news regarding Social Security benefits. There was a recent announcement from the Social Security Administration. There's a policy change that would have disrupted payments for millions of seniors receiving Social Security and disability benefits, and in some cases, stopped payments from being sent to those affected. And that has been something that we've been reporting on. We went to extensive length to explain why you needed to take action in order to avoid this disruption by September the 30th. And so that was the change that the Social Security Administration wanted to make. And then we just received news that the Social Security Administration is reversing course, partly because they heard you. And a lot of you have called your Congress people and complained about why this policy change was going to be a burden for you. And it seems like the Social Security Administration has been listening. So I'm going to walk you through what this policy change is, what the reversal means, and how it affects your benefits. And then I have two more things. There's breaking news from the Social Security Administration about an $18,000 cut in benefits that is coming on the horizon that we need to talk about. And then there is news about Social Security payments. So I'm going to bring you all that today. My name is Kwame Kwade. I have been helping seniors get retirement benefits for 15 years. I cover topics on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and other personal finance issues that affect seniors. Now, if you are new to this channel, I am glad you're here. Do me a favor, go into the comment section and let me know your city and your state. Now, if you've been watching our channel for a while now and you're back here today, I do appreciate you. Every time you guys come back and rewatch our videos or join our lives, we really appreciate you. So thank you for being here. So let's get to this breaking news, because I did two videos announcing this change that the Social Security Administration was making and explain why you had to take action before September the 30th to avoid this disruption in your Social Security or disability benefits. For some of you, your benefits were going to be interrupted or even stopped if you did not take action. So let's go back and refresh you on what the change was and why the Social Security Administration is reversing course right now. So let's see here. There we go. So I shared this article with you from USA Today. It says no more paper checks, Social Security moving to 100% electronic payments. And this was a big deal because the Social Security, no, that's not what I wanted to share. Let me remove that and then put this on. There we go. So I shared this with you about the Social Security Administration moving to electronic checks from USA Today. So this was the title. It says no more paper checks. Social Security moving to 100% electronic payments this fall. And so the article went on to say that the Social Security Administration is transitioning away from paper checks later this year. Only electronic payments will be used for benefits. The agency announced on July the 14th, which was just 2 weeks ago, maybe less, as part of an effort to modernize its systems and improve efficiency. And they went on to say that if you need to transition, you have until September the 30th. And they allowed you to either create a bank account and get your benefits electronically or sign up for the direct express debit card. Those were the two options that you had in order to comply with this rule. And they made three changes. The first one was that you can no longer go into the Social Security Administration office and request a waiver. So if you want to continue to get paper checks, you can no longer get that approval from the Social Security Administration. You have to go through the U.S. Treasury Department. And then they allowed three sets of people that could get an exemption, but it was a very tight group of people. So eventually what that meant was that if you are receiving paper checks or you know somebody that was receiving paper check, they would have to sign up for a bank account or get the direct express debit card, or they would see their benefits stop because they were no longer going to mail paper checks. So that was what we communicated to you guys and told you to get ready by September the 30th because there was no more paper checks. Well, it turns out that one of the things we talked about was that this was going to be a problem for a lot of seniors, especially older seniors that do not want to navigate the banking system. They just want to get their check in the mail and either go cash it or whatever. So those seniors are being interrupted or disrupted, and this was going to provide a burden. Besides, checking accounts also have fees. So if you get to a bank account where your checking account fees is from $12 to $20, then that is eating up your Social Security benefits. And so we asked you to call your your local congressperson, to call your senator and let them know that this is not okay. And there's been a lot of things that have happened this year where we have encouraged you to call and make your voices heard, because these legislation or changes that are being made by the Social Security Administration are negatively going to impact you. And sometimes we feel like our voices are not important. We get into the mindset that it is only me. If I call, what is that going to do? Well, it does do a lot, because we've documented several instances this year where the Social Security Administration wanted to make a change, like they wanted to cut your ability to call them on the phone or do certain transactions over the phone. We reported on that and encourage you to call, and they changed their mind. They wanted to take 100% of your Social Security benefits if you have an overpayment issue. We reported on that, told you to call, and they dropped that request to 50%. What I'm saying is that when you make your voices heard about policy changes that they are making that are not good for you, eventually they do listen. And so what we found out today was that the Social Security Administration is backing off. And let me share with you why that is important. So I have that on my screen right now. Let's go to the news. So this is from CBS News. Let me make sure that is displaying on your screen. So it says that Social Security retreats from plan to eliminate paper checks for beneficiaries. This is today. It happened, well, yesterday. It was updated today. And so let's read what this says. So the Social Security Administration said it will continue issuing paper checks to retirement program beneficiaries, backing away from a previously announced plan to switch all payments to electronic deposit after September the 30th. On Wednesday, the Social Security Administration told CBS Money Watch it will continue issuing paper checks for beneficiaries, including recipients of retirement and disability benefits who have no other means of getting payment. But the program will also emphasize the advantages of electronic transfers to its roughly 90 million beneficiaries in an effort to encourage check recipients to switch to electronic. Now, this is important because when this policy was announced, they were 100% positive that they were going to do this. There was no longer going to be a paper check because President Trump had issued an executive order that said that they have to switch to paper checks. And then Doge and Elon Musk came in and accelerated that process and pushed the Social Security Administration to stop sending checks and implement electronic payment right away. So they announced 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, that they were switching to electronic payments, and you had till September the 30th. So why do you think that they changed their mind? It is because a lot of you made noise. A lot of you reached out and they realized that this was going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. So let's read some more. The about phase comes after the agency said on July the 14th that it will phase out paper checks beginning in October, citing the advantage of electronic deposit, including faster payment and enhanced security. Eliminating paper also saves the federal government money, with checks costing 50 cents each compared to 15 cents for electronic transfer. So the government, one of the reasons was that they were going to save money. The reversal of policy to eliminate checks come after Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat from Massachusetts, met with Social Security Commissioner on Wednesday morning and asked about the plan to discontinue paper checks along with other changes about the agency. So again, the point I'm trying to make is that when you make calls to your senator, when you make calls to your congressperson, they listen. And this time a senator is taking action and actually requested a meeting with the Social Security Commissioner, and now there is relief. So if you got anything out of this video, the point I'm trying to make is that there's going to be a lot of these changes that are going to come. They're going to give all these reasons why they have to make changes, take something away from you, make something harder for you to get, push you out of benefits, and you cannot just let it happen. Call Congress, call your congressman, call your congresswoman, call your senators, and let them know this is not okay. And if enough people make their voices heard, they do reverse course, because this was going to impact a lot of people. Now, here's the big part. Millions of people in the US are unbanked, meaning they lack traditional bank account, often because they believe they don't earn enough to qualify for an account, or are worried about cost. Typically, these people rely on check cashing services or other non-bank financial companies like PayPal, Venmo, and other banks. About 1 out of every 5 households headed by someone over 65 is unbanked. I want to read that again so that you understand why this was important. About 1 out of every 5 households headed by someone over age 65 is unbanked or underbanked, according to AARP. People who are underbanked may have a bank account but still primarily rely on alternative banking services. So, by implementing this new rule, Social Security were going to cause a lot of people pain. And so I am happy to hear that they are backing off, because as we reported on this channel, eliminating paper check was just another inconvenience that the Social Security Administration was going to cause seniors who were already frustrated with a lot of the changes that have happened. So that is that about the checks. The second thing I want to talk to you about, also regarding the Social Security Administration, but before I do that, I want you to stay till the end of this video, because I made an announcement recently about a community that we've started, a community for seniors age 55 plus. And I want to share a lot of details with you, because a lot of you had questions about how to join the community. It's on the school platform, and the goal is for us to share things with you that we could not share on YouTube or TikTok, because there were topics that we could go deeper. Basically, we want to create a community where seniors can feel a part of belonging. They can get their questions answered one-on-one with us, and also be able to access guides. All the guides that we're creating, that we are selling, we're going to offer it in this community for free, and we're going to cover topics like the topics I have shared on the screen. So I'm going to put the link to the community in the chat, in the comments, and then I'm going to come back later and give you more details about how you can join this community and why we are creating this, and why we think it will be good investment for you. So I'm going to put in the link, and then we will talk about the next thing regarding Social Security. So I'm going to drop the link in the comments in a second. Here we go. Now, the next thing I want to talk about today is the Social Security Administration backpedaling on something they talked about regarding the big beautiful bill. Remember, if you've watched my video the last couple of weeks, I have said many times that the big beautiful bill leaves out 50% of seniors and does not give them anything. If you are one of those seniors that do not file taxes because you don't get enough Social Security benefits, you are not getting anything out of the big beautiful bill. And that is tragic, because this is a gigantic bill, and they're spending a lot of money, and they're borrowing a lot of money to give tax breaks to people in the middle and upper middle class and the rich. And the fact that seniors in the low income category have been completely left out of this bill is it's deeply concerning. And I've been very vocal about that, and provided about 5 different bills that I think Congress and the president should get behind this year in order to put more money in your pocket. Well, the Social Security Administration came out with a blog post and said that Social Security taxes have been eliminated because of the big beautiful bill. And a lot of us came back and said that is not true, because that is not what happened. The president did promise to eliminate Social Security taxes, but That is one. That is not what happened with the big beautiful bill, because the 6,000 tax credit, you have to file taxes to get it. Number one. Number two, it's only for seniors age 65 plus. There are seniors that are less than 65 that are getting Social Security benefits that have been left out of this. And so we wanted to make sure that you guys knew, what that meant. Well, let me share with you the fact that the Social Security Administration is quietly backpedaling on statements they made that were incorrect because of the big beautiful bill. So let's read this from Market Watch. Social Security Administration quietly corrects blog on taxation of benefit, but confusion persists. Public comments on the agency's blog show beneficiaries remain confused about the new law. So let me explain what's happening. The Social Security Administration quietly corrected a blog post that had asserted that the recent federal budget bill, eliminated taxes on Social Security and offered a bigger tax deduction for seniors. That is what they were claiming was happening. And that was not what was happening. And a lot of us came and disputed that, but the Social Security Administration was not backing off of their incorrect statement that they were making. And don't get me wrong, the big beautiful bill did provide tax break for seniors, but it did not provide tax breaks for all seniors. Half of seniors, especially on Social Security, did not get anything from the bill. And for those who got it, had to be 65 and older. And as I mentioned, there are seniors who are age 65, less than age 65, that are collecting benefits that are not going to be able to take advantage of this. And the tax breaks in the big beautiful bill targeted at seniors only are going to last for 3 years. After the president is out of office, we are going to have the conversation again. So those are the three reasons why to say that the bill eliminated taxes on Social Security was simply incorrect. Well, let's read some more about what they are saying now. So after some pushback, the correction made on the blog now explains that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act offsets taxes through the enhanced deduction, not in addition to the bigger tax deduction as previously stated. The correction was issued on July 2nd. The new law includes a provision that eliminates federal taxes on Social Security benefits for most beneficiaries, providing relief to individuals and couples. It does so by providing an enhanced deduction for payers age 65 and older, ensuring that retirees can keep more of their money earned. And the problem with that is that not all retirees are eligible. So to make a statement like that is incorrect. And so that's why there's more confusion about this. So Senator Elizabeth Warren met Thursday with Social Security Commissioner and asked if the agency would send out a corrected email to everyone who received the initial false email. The director or the commissioner initially said he believed the issue was too stale. Warren recounted in a subsequent call with the media, but then added he may consider it. Warren said she conveyed to Bizignano the importance of a correction, saying there are a lot of Americans who believe what you sent. And I was one of those people that received that email from the Social Security Administration, and immediately I knew it was incorrect. And I was wondering why they would send out such a false statement to begin with, because I have done a lot of videos where a lot of you have come on here and complained about the fact that you were left out of the bill and that you were not getting anything. And so to say that it has eliminated taxes and put money back in the pockets of seniors, it is not correct. So what does this mean? And where do we go from here? Well, there's still confusion. So according to Market Watch, here is a comment by somebody on the Social Security Administration's blog. Can someone bite a bullet and spell it out? 65 and older, 95% of which is the 95% that won't pay on benefits and all the details of tax filing. So basically, the person is saying, look, can you clarify who is affected by this bill, who is benefiting and who is not? And let's not try to mince words and twist words to mean something that they're not. And so this is not over. I am going to pay attention to this. But here's one thing: the law does create a temporary enhanced deduction for Americans 65 and older. It is not a separate provision that will eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, but a higher deduction could offset an older adult's tax income. So if you are single, you can claim 6,000 tax deduction. If you're married, you can claim 12,000, and it does expire, as has been said here again. It does expire in 2028. So it's not permanent. So after President Trump is out of office, all that tax deduction will go away, and seniors will see that they will have to pay more taxes on their Social Security benefits for those who pay taxes on their Social Security benefit. So I wanted to clarify that for you because it is important to understand that what you felt and have experienced is correct. And that if they're coming out and saying something that is not aligning with what you know, you should trust what you're reading, because what the email they sent out to millions of seniors was confusing, and it's still causing a lot of confusion. Now let's get to some good news. So yesterday in my live, I told you that based on the cost of living adjustment and issues that has come up with COLA over the last 15 years, seniors are now owed $370 Social Security increase by Congress. Let me repeat that again. Because your Social Security cost of living adjustment has not caught up with inflation over the last 15 years, there was a study done by the Senior Citizens League, which is a nonpartisan organization that advocates for seniors. And they realized or came up with the fact that if you add up all the gap between the cost of living adjustment that you received for your Social Security and what it actually should have been based on the actual inflation that seniors were facing, Congress owes seniors on Social Security and disability benefits $370 Social Security and disability increase right now. So I want to share with you where that comes from, and then I want to talk to you about it, about what it means for you and how this is going to play out. So this is the article from the Austin American Statesman, and it was initially an article about the fact that your cost of living adjustment next year was going to be 2.7% based on estimate that they are looking at based on what's happening with inflation. So your cost of living adjustment for Social Security was going to be 2.7%, and the Social Security Administration is going to confirm what the actual number is in October. In addition to only getting 2.7% in Social Security benefits increase, your Medicare Part B premium, according to this article, is going to go up by a much larger amount. So let me find it right here. So it said, but with Medicare Part B premium projected to rise by 11.6%. So even though you may get a 2.7% Social Security increase next year, you are also going to see a Medicare Part B premium increase of 11.6%. Now, why is that important and why should you care? Because that is why a lot of seniors have fallen behind, because first, your Social Security benefits are not really reflecting the actual inflation that seniors face. And two, even when you get a little bit of increase, that increase is consumed by your Medicare Part B premium increases that are much larger than your Social Security benefit increase. So then they were saying that this has been a problem that has been going on for a very long time, where seniors always feel that their Social Security increase is eaten up by Medicare premium. So here is what they had to say. They say that even without considering premium increases, this amount is far below what is needed to maintain purchasing power, which is the 2.7% increase, is far below what is needed to maintain purchasing power and falls significantly short of covering the rising costs for older adults. So essentially saying that seniors are facing rising costs, and this tiny little Social Security cost of living adjustment is not going to do it. And then they went on to say that a study by the Senior Citizens League shows retirees would need an extra $370 per month just to match the buying power they had in 2010. So since 2010, if you add up all the Social Security cost of living adjustment increases and you add up the fact that it has fallen short of actual inflation, Congress owes you $370. The question is, how do you get that money? And that's what I want to talk to you about, because there are a couple of ways that you can get that money. The first is that we are in the summer and your congressperson, your senator are going to be doing town halls in your local area. They're going to come and promise a lot of things. They're going to come and say a lot of things. But here is what you can go and tell them, that based on the Senior Citizen League estimate, and they know, if they are in Congress, they know who the Senior Citizens League is, because it's a nonpartisan, respected advocacy group for seniors. They have estimated that seniors have lost $370. And so you want to show them and confront them with that number and ask them, what are they going to do about it? And here's what they can do about it, because they're going to tell you, they're going to think about it. That is not a good answer. Here's what they can do. There is a bill called the Social Security Expansion Act. It is supposed to, among a lot of things, give seniors a $200 increase right away. That Social Security Expansion Act was a bill proposed by Bernie Sanders in the 118th Congress. It's been proposed in the 119th Congress, and recently, a few months ago, has gained a lot of bipartisan support both in the House and the Senate. But that bill was going to give you a $200 increase. What I'm asking you to talk to your congressperson about is that $200 increase is not going to cut it. You need a $370 increase, because based on research and a survey, that is how much seniors have lost. And this will bring you up to speed to where you need to be based on money that you have lost. This is not even talking about, how they can increase Social Security benefits so seniors can avoid living, barely making it with Social Security. That's a different conversation. We are just talking about catching you up to what you've lost, because inflation is always higher than your cost of living adjustment that you're giving. So that is an important point I want to make, because sometimes when you highlight these issues to Congress, they then dance around it and say, well, we're going to write a bill, we're going to consider it in a bill, or we're going to try and rally support and make changes. Nothing's going to happen when they tell you that. What you want to tell them is that that there's a bill already in Congress that could be supported by him or her that will give seniors a $200 increase. But don't stop there. Go to $370, because that is what is truly owed to seniors that are on Social Security and disability. All right. So the next issue that I want to talk to you about, that is equally important, has to do with Social Security, retirement, and an $18,000 cut that is coming. You're going to see this in the news a lot in the next couple of days. So I want to explain to you why you need to care and pay attention to this. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about our partner, Chapter Medicare. If you've been on my this broadcast before, you know Chapter is our Medicare partner that we absolutely trust and believe in, because Chapter is there to be in your corner and help you sort through the confusion around Medicare. There are 24,000 Medicare plans out there, and 90% of seniors are in the wrong plan. Why? Because it is hard to sort through all of that. And so what Chapter does is that they allow you to be, they will vet your Medicare plan and see if you are in the right plan. The call is free, and they will tell you whether you're in the right plan or not. And if you're not, they'll help you get in the right plan. Why is that important? Because of this fact. Seniors are going to get more out of Medicare in their lifetime than out of Social Security. The amount of money you're going to get in your Social Security benefit, that's not compared to how much money is going to be spent on you regarding Medicare services. But you need to be in the right plan to take advantage of all that you have earned and deserve. And Chapter will make sure of that. And 2,000 of you have already called based on our recommendation and have already been put in a better plan. And so the call is free. The advice is unbiased. And these guys are real. These are the people you're going to be talking to when you call Chapter. So I'm going to put the link in the description to this video. They are there to help you. And you don't have to wait till open enrollment. You may have a small window to be able to switch to a better plan, and they can help you do that. They are highly rated, and there's a form you can fill if you don't want to call them, and they will help you save $1,100 a year. So that is Chapter, our Medicare partner. Give them a call. Let them know Benefits Insider sent you. Now, let's talk about Social Security and the future. There is a cliff that everybody has heard about. You've heard that Social Security is going to run out of money, and they're going to cut benefits by 19%. Well, today, that 19% has now gone to 24%, and it's been estimated that you are going to lose $18,000 as a result. Now, let me go to Fox News, because Fox News reported this earlier, and I want to bring this to you, and then we're going to talk about it. So let me pull this on my screen, and then we can go into detail about that. Where is that article? Let me see. Hold on a second. There's too many screens open here. So it's saying that Social Security benefits face. All right. So let's pull that up again. All right, here we go. So you can see this from Fox News. It says Social Security benefits face a 24% cut in less than a decade as trust fund dries up, new analysis reveal. So I'm going to read a little bit of this to you and then talk to you about the 18,000. So trust fund solvency by 2032 would trigger an automatic 24% cut affecting 62 million Americans, the CRFB found. So Social Security Retirement Trust Fund is on a path to insolvency in less than a decade, which will leave retirees facing an automatic 24% cut to their benefits if the trust fund is depleted. The nonpartisan committee, the Committee for Responsible Budget, on Thursday released a latest analysis of Social Security Trust Fund based on recent trustee report, along with updated fiscal projections following the enactment of the One Big Beautiful Bill. CRFB estimated that the law's enactment, which is the Big Beautiful Bill, moved up the insolvency timeline for Social Security to late 2032, which will leave beneficiaries facing a 24% cut after the trust fund is tapped out. Now, let me give you some background here. The Social Security Trust Fund is the piggy bank of Social Security, or the rainy day fund of the Social Security system. In years where there's been surpluses, the surplus was invested in government treasury bonds, special treasury bonds that were designed for Social Security. They were invested in the government bonds to earn interest, and that trust fund has grown to $1.8 trillion. Well, over the last couple of years, Social Security is paying out more money than is getting money from taxpayers, And so there's a $200 billion gap every year. And so since that is the rainy day fund, Social Security has been dipping into that rainy day fund $200 billion a year. Well, that rainy day fund is not growing because, as I mentioned, more people are taking money out or collecting benefits or drawing benefits than are put into the system. So they're in a deficit situation, and we've been in a deficit situation for a while now. And so if we're taking $200 billion a year, that $1.8 trillion is going to run out, we were told, in 2034. And then it became 2033 because of the Social Security Fairness Act. Because whenever Congress makes changes to the Social Security system and gives more money to people, that is taken out of the Social Security Fund. So the Social Security Fairness Act pulled more money out and it moved the timeline to 2033. Well, the big beautiful bill is moving the timeline further and is going to move it to 2032, according to this nonpartisan analysis. So what does that mean for you? Well, if Congress does not do anything, there's going to be an automatic 24% cut in benefits. So let's see what Fox News has to say about that. So the new law temporarily enhanced deduction, we all know that the size of the Social Security benefit cut will vary based on the couple's age. So here is the 18,000 I was talking about. For dual income couple with medium income who retires in the year 2033, that amount will be $18,000 annual benefit cut, or a monthly reduction of about $1,508. By contrast, a single income couple at the income tier would see a $13,600 annual benefit cut. These are not small numbers. I mean, this is very serious stuff. And I want to share with you another post that really goes into detail about how this is going to work, because that 18,000 number, you are going to see it a lot, because that is about to scare a lot of people. So let's go to those who actually wrote the thing, the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. Let's go to what they had to say on their own website so that we are reading directly from the source. So here is reading directly from those who wrote the report. So the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, it says retirees face an $18,100 benefit cut in 7 years. The Social Security and Medicare Trust Fund are only a little more than 7 years away from insolvency, based on projections from the program's own trustee, in combination with our estimate, meaning the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, our estimate of the impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The law dictates that when the trust fund depletes their reserves, payments are limited to incoming revenues. Let me explain that. According to federal law that pertains to Social Security benefits, when Social Security trust fund reserves are emptied out, which I told you is going to be done by 2032, Social Security can only pay retirees money that it's getting from payroll taxes. And in 2032, according to estimate, the money that is coming in from payroll taxes is only going to be able to pay 76% of your retirement benefit, which means that there's going to be a 24% cut because there won't be enough money coming in to support everybody that is claiming benefits. That is what they're trying to say. Let me read some more. We estimate that this will be equal to an $18,100 benefit cut for a dual earning couple retiring at the start of 2033, shortly after the trust fund insolvency. At the same time, those retirees might experience reduced access to health care. This is critical. Reduced access to health care due to an 11% cut in Medicare hospital insurance payment. This cut will grow over time as scheduled payments continue to outpace dedicated revenue. Depending on the couple's age, marital status, and work history, the actual size of the cut could vary. For example, a typical single earner couple could face $13,600 cut, while a dual earner low income couple, low income, will face an $11,000 annual cut. High income couples could see a close to $24,000 cut. So everybody is going to be impacted and is going to see some benefit cuts because of this cliff that we are about to face. So the question is, what can be done about it? Well, there is a lot that Congress can do about it. And so let's look at let's read let's read this, and then I'll tell you the 4 or 5 things that can be done about Social Security to avoid these drastic cuts that I am explaining to you are about to happen. So the report goes on to say, importantly, these estimates are somewhat larger than those implied by the most recent trustee report. That's because the tax cuts and increases in senior standard deduction from the recently enacted One Big Beautiful Bill would reduce Social Security revenue from income taxation of benefits, increasing the required cut by a percentage point upon insolvency. If the expanded senior standard deduction and other temporary measures in the OBBA are made permanent, the cut will even be larger. Policymakers pledging not to touch Social Security are implicitly endorsing these deep cuts for 62 million retirees and beyond. It is time for policymakers to tell the truth about the program's finances to pursue trust fund solutions to head off insolvency. So what are they saying? What this report is saying is that when politicians are telling you that they're not going to touch Social Security and they are passing laws that are going to affect Social Security and how much money it's coming in, they're going behind they're going behind and using the back door to affect your Social Security and essentially cut your Social Security without telling you they're doing that. That is what these guys are saying. And remember, these guys are non-partisan. These are objective people that work to bring you the truth and highlight the facts as they see them. And that's why they are highly respected for their work. And they're telling you that if politicians are telling you that they are not cutting Social Security, but they are passing these kinds of bills that affects how much money comes into Social Security's coffers, they are indirectly cutting your benefits. So, based on all that I've shared, what can be done? What can realistically be done to fix this? Well, before I do that, I want to complete the conversation I was having with you to make sure that you guys are aware of the new group that I mentioned at the beginning of this call, that we formed a group for seniors age 55 plus. It's a community where we are going to go deeper with you on topics that are important to you. Why? Because the things that we want to cover on YouTube don't really get the kind of views that we are looking for because of how important these topics are. And YouTube is notorious for pushing content that are very newsy. That's why you see everybody talking about Social Security likes to talk about new stuff, everything that is newsy in the news, like I'm doing today. But there is so much more we want to share with you about maximizing your income, about retirement living, about money saving ideas, part-time jobs, ideas and opportunities, the best and most updated senior discounts and perks, protecting yourself against scams and fraud, navigating senior living options, health and wellness and aging resources, caregiver and family support, and create a community for you where you guys can talk to each other and feel seen, heard, and ask us questions directly. There's so much more. And all the paid guides that we've released over the last couple of years, we are going to pour all of that into this community for free. So you get every guide we've already made and any future guide that we create absolutely free. Why did we do this? And these are some of the guides that we have right now. maximizing your Social Security guide, complete guide to EBT discounts, and complete guide to the big beautiful bill. All these guides are available to you for free by joining this community. And our goal is one thing: to help you to stop missing out on retirement payments and to unlock every dollar discount and advantage that you deserve. So, if you are one of the first 50 members that join this group, you are going to get these bonuses right away. And so here is the address. I'm going to put it in the description to this video. I'm going to put it in the comments, and you can go to this website. It's on the school platform. I've been looking for a platform for years that could help us do this. Finally, we find School. It's very easy to use, very senior friendly. School.com/benefits insider. And there's a video there that will explain everything to you. I think you will find tremendous value in this community of like-minded people. So I'm going to put the link in the comments, and then I'm going to put it in the description to this video. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you there. So having said that, let's talk about the 5 things that can be done to fix Social Security. I've told you that there's going to be a cliff that is coming where you're going to see a 24% cut if nothing happens. And that's the truth. If nothing happens, there's going to be a 24% cut. And as I mentioned and showed you from the article, seniors in certain categories of income are going to see an $18,000 cut in their benefits. So how can you avoid this? Well, Congress needs to act. And there are 2 things they can do. They can either bring in more money into the Social Security system, or they can slow down how much money is leaving the Social Security system. Let me do the worst ideas first, and then we'll go to the best ideas. So when it comes to political courage, Congress is lacking a lot of that. And so watch them take the easy road and hurt more people versus take the difficult road and make the changes that is going to help more people. So they can either slow down how much money is coming out of the system, or they can put more money into the system by making legislation that would do that. Let me explain how they can slow things down. The first one, and that idea is already out there, they are already talking about it, is by increasing the Social Security retirement age. If you've been paying attention, President Reagan increased the Social Security retirement age from 65, the full retirement age, FRA, increased that from 65 to 67. And that has been creeping up over the last couple of years, slowly. By every 2 months, every year it goes up by 2 months. So this year, if you are retiring this year in 2025, your full retirement age is 66 and 10 months. Next year, 2026, if you're retiring, your at full retirement age is going to be 67. So after 2026, the full retirement age is going to be set permanently for anybody born, I believe it's 1960 and above. Your full retirement age is going to be set permanently at age 67. That has taken a long time to get there. Now they are proposing that they are going to increase your full retirement age from 67 to 69 or 70 years old. It means that if you want to get all the Social Security benefits that you have paid into the system, that you have earned and deserve and are eligible for, you have to wait until age 69 or age 70. That is what they are proposing. Why is that a solution? Because when you drag it out, number one, more people are not going to stay alive to claim it, which is very, very diabolical. Number two is that a lot of seniors don't want to wait that long, especially seniors who have worked in very hard labor jobs, don't want to wait that long to age 70 to claim their benefits. So let's say that you claim it at the earliest age at 62 and their full retirement age is 69, you may end up losing about 40% of your benefits permanently. And so that is a way for them to slow down how much money is coming out of the system. That's one way to do it. And watch them start talking about that, because there are good reasons that they can make and good arguments they can make. Number one, it's a fact that more people are claiming Social Security benefits longer than ever. The average senior citizen today, when you turn 65, when you make it to age 65, on average, you're expected to live another 20 years. A few decades ago, when you turn 65, you were expected to live another 14 years. So there's been 6-year increase in how long people are claiming Social Security. The system was not designed to support this kind of length in benefit claim period. And so that's one thing. Number two, there are more people claiming benefits. The baby boomer generation has been retiring for a while now and will continue to do so for another maybe 10 years. And it's the largest generation ever. And so there are more people claiming benefits. So that's a problem because it's a stretch on the system. Now, you've paid into the system, you've paid your money, you deserve your money. I have nothing against that, and that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about just the math. The problem with the Social Security system right now is that it was designed as a pay-as-you-go system. The money that's coming in is supposed to support the money that's going out. That is how it was designed. It's not a 401k type system where there's an account with your name on it, growing tax-free and growing interest. And then when you retire, they're like, hey, here's your money. That's not how it works. The money you paid supported somebody that was retired at the time. And so if you are retiring now, somebody who is paying, people who are paying into the system are the ones supporting your retirement. That's how the system was designed. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It's a pay-as-you-go system. So when you are in a situation like we are right now, where less people are paying into the system compared to the number of people that are withdrawing, you have a mismatch. And one way to solve that is to increase the full retirement age. I'm just trying to explain to you why politicians would want to do this and the reasons that they're going to give you. Now, the other way to slow down how much money is coming out of the Social Security system is to slow down your cost of living adjustment. Now, cost of living adjustment is tiny. It was 2.5% this year. I've told you earlier in this video, it's projected to be 2.7% next year. And seniors, as I've mentioned, have lost $370 since 2010 because your COLA has not caught up with inflation. Well, the worst thing they could do is to further slow down how much cost of living adjustment you get. Because, face it or not, Social Security cost of living adjustment is money that is taken out of the Social Security pot. So if you slow down how much COLA people get, you slow down how much money is leaving the system, right? So I've explained to you the two ways by which they could slow down how much money is coming into the system. The third is to means test Social Security. Means testing means that people who have money, upper middle class, the rich, will get less benefit, and people who are in the low income group will get more benefit. So give Social Security to those who need it the most, and those who already are well off don't get anything or get less benefit, regardless of how much they've paid into the system. That is means testing. That is another way to slow down how much money is coming out of the system. Now, as I'm saying all this, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your comments. What do you think about all the three ideas about means testing, about slowing down your cost of living adjustment, and increasing the full retirement age in order to address Social Security's cliff? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, let me explain to you what I think is the better way is to bring in more money. Bringing more money into the system. And there are two great ways to do it. The first one is to eliminate the Social Security cap on earnings. Currently, only your first $176,000 in earnings are taxable with Social Security taxes. So somebody making $500,000 will only pay Social Security taxes on their first $176,100. Somebody making $25 million will only pay Social Security taxes on the first $176,100 in 2025. Somebody making $1 billion will only pay Social Security taxes on the first $176,100 of their income. Everything above that, they don't have to pay Social Security taxes. So why is that important? Well, when you have a system that there's less money coming in than more money going out, why don't you let everybody pay taxes on all their income? And that is an option. And the Social Security Expansion Act, which I have been talking about, allows people who make more than $250,000 to pay Social Security taxes on all their income. That bill will solve the problem for 75 years. If they made that change and said anybody, in addition to paying Social Security on your first $176,100 in earnings, anybody making $250,000 and above pays Social Security taxes on all their earnings. Anything above that. That will solve the problem, and we don't have to face the reality that benefits will be cut by 24% or that seniors will lose $18,100 according to the estimate. So that's one way of doing it. The other way to solve the problem is to increase the Social Security tax rate. Currently, only 12.4% in Social Security income is taxed according to Social Security. You pay as an employee 6.2%, and your employer matches at 6.2%. If you're self-employed, you pay the entire 12.4%. That is how Social Security is funded through payroll taxes. The idea is to increase it from 12.4 to 16.4. That would solve the problem for another 75 years. You can do both and do a little bit of both, or you can do one or the other. So essentially, if you want to bring money in, increase the Social Security tax rate from 12.4 to 16.4 over a 6-year period so that it's gradual and it's not one big shock, or eliminate the cap and everybody pays Social Security taxes on all their income. And then money is going to come in, and not only can they give you a $370 raise in your Social Security benefits, as I talked about, but they can also save Social Security for a very long time. So that is the options. I want to hear from you what you think, because the reality is if nothing is done, we're headed for a cliff and benefits will be cut by 24%. No doubt about it. And anybody telling you otherwise is lying to you. Congress has to act, and they have options, and they know the options. They just need political courage in order to make things happen. So, guys, that is what I wanted to share with you on this Friday evening. If you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. Sophie Craig is saying, why doesn't Congress lower their paychecks and give the money to SSDI, and SS? It's like a bad boss making himself rich while the employer stays poor. That's a great analogy. I agree with you. And somebody said there are too many rich politicians for that Social Security tax adjustment to be viable. They will be taking money from their own pockets. Well, that's also true. Judy Brotherton, as Congress gets raises every year, they do. They make sure that they take care of themselves. Phil Mitchell. Okay, I'm going to put this. Phil Mitchell, it looks like I'll be living on the street with this $1,500 deduction and the 11% deduction for Medicare. I agree. Now, I'm not saying I agree with you living on the street. I agree that it's ridiculous that these cuts are being made and Congress is not Congress is not making the necessary adjustment. Anyway, so guys, I think these issues are serious. I wanted to bring them to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think if we make enough noise and we talk about it enough and we educate ourselves enough about it, we will see the change that we are looking for. So I will do my part to continue to educate you guys. If you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, forward this video to whoever you think needs to know. A lot of seniors don't know that these things are happening, and so they are not making their voices heard. So if you could forward this in your Facebook group or your Facebook page or on YouTube to somebody you think needs to hear this, please do. And if you like what you heard today, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you're interested in joining our new community, I'm going to put the link in the comments again. And I'm looking forward to seeing as many of you join. And we can go deeper and talk about the topics that are on your mind. So until I see you tomorrow on another live, thank you for joining me this Friday, the 25th. And I'll see you tomorrow.